It is open mic night tonight on the Sunday Sipper Club. I'm Natalie MacLean, editor of Canada's largest wine review site at nataliemaclean.com, and we are opening it up for you tonight. Specifically, I really would love to know who you want to talk to in the world of wine in 2019. Before we get to that, I would love to know where you're logging in from. As always, I am obsessed about the weather. What's it like where you are? What's in your glass tonight? I am going to refresh my browser over on Facebook and make sure all is well in the world of the tech giants. Let me just scroll down here. Yep, we seem to be live, so that's good. Some of you are already tuning in. That's even better. Let me click and mute this. Awesome. Lori Kilmartin, Elaine Bruce, and Peter Nielsen have joined. You guys are quick off the mark. All right, guys. So to kick this conversation off, and even if you're watching the video replay, let me know which guests should I book in 2019. Oh my gosh. We're here at 2019, the precipice. Hi, David Gardner. Hello. How are you? Where are you logging in from? What's in your glass and what's the weather? Jason Davies has joined us. Lori is drinking a Meldville Pinot Noir. Weather, dash, not sure. Elaine Bruce, it's snowy in Calgary. Anne McLean's here. Jim Clark's from Canada. Weather is similar to Orleans. Yes, the other side of the city. Yes, Jim, it would be. Joanna Quartel, she's drinking Tempranillo Garnacha. All right. Jason Davies is in London, UK. What's it like there tonight, Jason? So yeah, guys, I'd love for you to throw out some ideas of who I should interview in 2019. Elaine says she'd love to hear from more winemakers in the Okanagan. Absolutely. Elaine, did you catch the interview we did with John Schreiner, the Uber wine writer, godfather of wine writing, who really, I think, is the most respected writer in Canada, especially when it comes to BC wines. If you didn't, you should look up the past episodes and watch that one. It was fantastic, but great suggestion, Elaine. Lori Sweet says, hello from Kingston, cool and wet, but it's not snow. Same here in Ottawa, Lori. Jason says, Fog Monster Chenin Blanc. Oh, I thought you were telling me about the weather first. Is that the name of your wine, Fog Monster? Anne says, hello, everybody from cold Halifax. Jim Clark says, how about having Joe Fattorini from The Wine Show? Now that's interesting. So tell me a bit more about The Wine Show. I've kind of heard about it, Jim, but where do they make it? What's kind of the focus of it? How do they organize it? But yeah, that sounds interesting. Lori says some winemakers who are following natural and pet nat winemaking. So pétillant naturel, natural bubbly sparkling wines is what she's talking about with the pet nat. Not a nickname for me. Lori Sweet, I would like to hear more from winemakers in Nova Scotia, South Africa, and Prince Edward County. Fantastic. I'm wondering also if there are writers, wine writers you'd love to hear from. Let me take a sip because this is the subject. So I'd love to know. There's some writers coming up that I've already booked in 2019. The first one is the wine columnist for the San Francisco Chronicle. She's on fire. She's a young one, and she writes brilliantly, and I cannot wait to have her on this show because she also has some controversial columns. So I'm going to pick her best columns and dig into those topics with you. That's in late January, early February. Annie is here. Hello, Annie from Panama. How are you, my dear? Jay Black. Hello, Jay. What's in your glass? What's the weather like where you are? Paul Hollander is here, probably with Patty from Virginia. All right. Lori Kilmartin asks, Jancis, Queen of Wine. So I would love to, Lori. It's a matter of getting some of this royalty to agree to such an interview, but I will try. I will definitely try. Who else? The other thing too, sometimes is I will go for a guest and they're perfect and they're willing, but the technology just is too much for them. So I'm not saying that would be the case with Jancis, but there are some more traditional luminaries that, are just more challenging to get onto this platform. Paul says, hi, Natalie, going back inside to Big Cab. Okay, stay warm. All right. Who else? Let's see. There's sommeliers. There are wine writers. There are food people who know about wine and food pairing. So in the past, I've had people on who know how to pair wine and charcuterie, wine and cheese. I'll talk about more about the new wine and cheese pairing course, but if you have any questions about that course, please post them because I'd love to answer those questions. Registration closes in a couple days, so if you've got questions, let me know. But yes, I've had other food experts that are at the intersection of wine and food. What else have we had on here? Who else, I should say? Chocolate and wine, we've done that a few times. So we can draw from the world of food, the world of writing, sommeliers, winemakers, of course. I always love to get winemakers who can tell a good story. So not just let me talk about my oak aging regime, right? So we don't want to fall asleep. We need you to tell great stories. But if I think about some of the great winemakers we've had on here who make both great wines and tell great stories, Randall Graham from Bonnie Doon, Joel Peterson from Ravenswood, Anne Sperling from Southbrook. There's so many. I'm forgetting now. Joel Gott from Gott Wines. You can jump in here. I mean, we've done 80 shows now. Can you believe it? 80. It's incredible. And, these shows, the best of these shows, I'm going to take and edit for audio and put them into my podcast. So I'm doing solo episodes and these best of interviews, but edited so that you don't hear all the share, like, blah, 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 which I'm forgetting to do already. But that podcast launches Wednesday. I am so excited. It's going to be everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google, Sirius, Alexa. If you have a speaker like that, I'm going to wake up my smart device right now. I shouldn't say her name. Oh, yeah, there she goes. But while I am remembering, if you are enjoying this conversation, please do take a moment to share it because I want input from everybody on which guests you want to see in 2019. I'm going to be sharing some great tips later on about pairing wine and turkey dinner. And more importantly, tell people why. Tell your friends and family why they would be interested in this video. They can watch the replay. And as you know, I always draw for a winner at the end of each show. So I'll be drawing for a winner a signed copy of Christine Sismondo's book, who was our guest last week, about cocktails and bars, historical bars. Really fascinating book based on who shared last week. But this week, you'll get a signed copy of my book. All right. So let me dive back into the comments, which are coming in thick and fast, which is amazing. Great. Peter Nielsen says, watched Psalm 3 last night. Oh, I have got to get to that, Peter. I think you mentioned in our private Facebook group for course members that it was on Netflix, or was it on Apple? Maybe you can let me know. The surprise Pinot Noir was from Domaine de la Côte in Santa Rita Hills in Santa Barbara area. This is run by Rajit Par, who was just in Montreal for Psalm 360. I gather he is a bit of a superstar in the wine world. Yes, #understatement. Given he is familiar with Niagara efforts, I'd be really curious to hear his views on what's happening here. He is top of my list. So Rajit Par, he owns a winery. He's a top contender, top sommelier, master sommelier. He's published a book, and he's been like sommelier at like the top restaurants, like Four Seasons or something like that. So I am definitely going to get him on this show. Peter, guaranteed. I'll let you know the date. but was that on Netflix or Apple that you saw Psalm 3? So sort of a quasi-documentary. I want to watch it. Elaine Bruce, I'm getting my act together to sign up for the course. It sounds great. Excellent, Elaine. I'm here to help. Registration's only open for a couple days, so that is the course for folks who may not know. Pairing wine and cheese with style and attitude. A step-by-step guide to making mouth-watering matches. So you don't have to be an expert in wine. And yet, if you are expert in wine, I think this course will go into a deep dive in areas you haven't touched on if you've taken wine courses. But for the novice, it's fantastic because it's all about the pairings. It's all about creating swoon-worthy holiday cheese boards. So we're only going to have a couple sessions before Christmas, Hanukkah, because I know you're going to get busy after that. And then we'll have another 3 sessions in the new year. But you have lifetime access. So even if you can't make it or you're too busy, and I get it, you can watch the recorded videos and get all the course materials and start when you're ready. The difference between joining now and later, say in the spring or whenever, is that the price is going to go up. That's not a sales tactic. I always offer the best price to the group who's willing to do this with me the first time. Because I learn, you learn, we make the course better together. It's fun, it's interactive. I'm live online, and I love it. So if you join as a charter member, meaning first, you get the best price, but also you will get access to all future upgraded editions of the course. You keep getting to participate in all future editions, and there will be, and you have lifetime access. Anyway, okay, you got me off on a tangent, Elaine. So Annie is drinking the Côte de Rosé. Is that the Gerard Bertrand Côte de Roses that has the glass? The glass on the bottom is sort of shaped like a rose. Gorgeous, gorgeous bottle, Annie. I love it. Fred Dame, yes. He's, Elaine, is a master sommelier who often judges the sommelier exams, and I think he's in the Somm documentary. I'm wondering, Peter, if he's in Psalm 3. Jay Black is having Chateau de Tracy Pouet Fumé, a nice Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. Are you loving it, Jay? I would love to know. Okay, thanks for the thumbs and hearts, guys. Thumbs up. Let's see. Let me come down here on the comments. Joanna Quartel. If Jancis can appear on Gary Vaynerchuk's show, surely she can do one of your interviews. Thanks for the implied compliment, Joanna. I don't think I'm on Gary's level, but there you go. Bonnie McBrien says, hi, Natalie. Joining for my first live show from Kamloops, BC. Excellent. Bonnie, I'm so glad you're here. Deb Podrigal, who's often here, is in Kamloops, I believe. So this is an unusual live show, Bonnie, in that we usually are interviewing a wine celebrity. So this is me at the end of the year saying, what do you guys want to hear? Who do you want to hear from? Who do you want to talk to? We've had some amazing guests, and I'll post a link after this video is over, Bonnie, so that you can go back and you can watch previous episodes, because we've had some amazing guests, like people who've written fascinating books, winemakers who tell great stories. It's just, I love this. It's so much fun. Lori, yes. Have you had Gary Vaynerchuk on before? Lori, I am trying to track down that man. He gave me a book blurb on my first or second book. He was very kind, very generous. I spoke to him on the phone. And now that, he's such a big celebrity in just the online business world. It's not just wine for him anymore. I would love to get him here. So I'm determined, but getting through all the noise and demands he has on his time now is a challenge. Peter says Psalm 3 documentary is on Apple TV. I am definitely going to watch that, Peter. Rochelle, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Francis is here. Hi. Hi, Francis. Annie Bedard. Yes. James Norton is here. James, what's in your glass? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you're all saying yes. I don't know what the question was because I've lost track. But I'll go back and read the thread afterwards. Sam is here from BC. Sam teaches wine courses out in Vancouver. I'm going to take a sip of wine. I'm getting thirsty. I've got the Megalomaniac Narcissist, no pun intended or direct allusion, Riesling from Niagara. I love how light but packed with flavor this wine is. Makes me my mouth water even before I've got the glass to my mouth. Oh, Pavlov. So good. All right. Sam Hawk is suggesting Bailey Williamson, winemaker at Blue Grouse Winery in Vancouver. Interesting. And Sam, I'd love to hear more from you. Why do you suggest him? I'm going to assume he makes great wines. I'm not sure that I've tasted any, but that's okay. But why him? Is he a great storyteller? Is there something really charismatic about him? Because we need great storytellers on here, not just great winemakers. I need to entertain, educate, and introduce you to great wines. Lori says, Stevie Kim from Vinitaly Academy. She would love to talk about Italian wines. I see her name pop up in my LinkedIn notifications because we're connected on LinkedIn. Have you ever heard her talk, Lori? It sounds like you have, and it sounds like she would be dynamic. I like that suggestion. Oz Clark, Elaine suggests. Yes, trying for that. Bit of a technology issue there, Elaine, but we're trying. Joanna Cortell, that show with Jancis and Gary was painful to watch. Oh, no. Why was that, Joanna? Was it just not flowing, the conversation, or was it stiff or awkward? I'm kind of curious. Why was it painful? Peter Nielsen says Fred Dame, in fact, is one of the three characters in one half of the plot of Psalm 3, along with Steve Spurrier and Jancis Robinson. Very interesting. Bev Aslan has joined us. Bev's a loyal regular from Southern California. Hello, Bev. Annie says Gerard Bertrand. French rosé. Yes, that's what you're saying yes to. Love that rosé. And you know what, Annie? After you have the rosé, you know, and it's empty, you can use it as a water decanter or, it's so elegant. It's so beautiful. Jay says his wine, Delish palate is dry, fresh, crunchy. I like the word crunchy when it comes to wine. Lime, gooseberry, vibrant minerality. You go, guy. That's a nice description. Rochelle is drinking Paul Bosque, Chateau de Charme. Lise Cheray has joined us from Northern Ontario. What's in your glass, Lise? Rochelle is agreeing with Lori. Now, the other Lori Sweet, is Derek. Oh, she wants to hear from Derek Burnett and Sherry Carlo from Carlo Estates in Prince Edward County. They have a fascinating story. I didn't know Derek Barnett was working with Sherry Carlo. I would love to have Sherry. She is a good soul. She's been through tough times, and I would love to have her on the show. They make interesting wines, too. Very interesting. Lori says, I've heard Stevie Kim before and have met her a few times. I can connect you if you're interested. Yes, please. Thanks, Lori. Crunchy equals a lot of character, says Jay. Yes, I like crunchy. Sam Hawk, John Schreiner, BC wine writer. Well, guess what, Sam? I did interview him. So I'm going to post the link to the back episodes, the back catalog, and you can watch that. It was a fantastic interview. He's so great. And his grandson helped him get set up technologically because that wasn't working till we got that intervention, but it was so worth it. He has so much wisdom to share. Sandra Oldfield, I would love to have her, consultant, former owner of Tinhorn Creek. Reese Pender, master of wine. Yes. John Skinner. I interviewed John Skinner like one of my first episodes when I wasn't even on Facebook. It was still Google Hangouts. He was terrific. He's a real statesman, a real gentleman, a real pioneer, leader, visionary in the industry. I'd love to get him back on here. Christine Cojeta Yeah, I know the name, I just haven't pronounced it before. At Okanagan Crush Pad on sustainable farming. Great suggestions. Harry McWaters of Time Winery, who just made his 50th vintage. Wow. Jay Mayer of Mayer Family Vineyards organizing the BC Pinot Noir celebration. All good speakers. Thank you, Sam. Marie Walsh is here. Hello, Marie. You won our prize last week. I don't know if you know that, Marie, because I'm not sure if you were online last week, but you won the prize last week. Email me, and we'll connect you with your prize. Patrick McLean is here. Hello, Patrick. What's in your glass? What's the weather like where you are? Sam says, I mentioned Bailey from Blue Grouse for talking about growing grapes on Vancouver Island and what makes them distinct. Excellent. Let me take another sip here because I'm going to talk myself dry in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to show you some mouth-watering cheese pictures just to tease you and tempt you. Hopefully you can see these. Aren't these beautiful? Oh my. Always nice. So let's get back to our chat here. I love how all the comments are coming in. Marie Walsh is here from Halifax. Marie, I grew up in Lower Sackville, so you're close to my heart. That's where my mother is now, Halifax. Lise Cheray says, my glass has juiced raw beets and pomegranate recovering from a girls' wine club Christmas party. That sounds like you have a sore head, Lise. Jim Clark says, actually having a scotch right now. Belvini triple cask. Any sort of wine and scotch pairing. You're hardcore. You want to pair wine with that scotch? I leave that to you. Oh, yes, Rochelle, Delynn Proctor, sommelier and profile. So Rochelle and I went to a spectacular wine tasting dinner at Signatures, which is the Cordon Bleu in Ottawa. And Delynn Proctor, who was the brand ambassador for Penfolds from Australia, hosted this amazing tasting. He is so eloquent. He was also in one of those Somm documentaries. And yes, we need to have him on the show. He's a wonderful speaker. Lori Sweet in Kingston was at a wine tasting last night, had a bit of discussion as to whether to let wine breathe and for long, and for how long. I'm not sure about this. So it depends on the wine and the person, Lori. So we usually let wine breathe or decant it for a few reasons. One is that the tannins, you know, that furry mouth feeling we get like eating walnuts or oversteeped tea, we get that feeling from wine. It's a feeling, not a taste. And it makes your mouth pucker. It's astringency or dryness. It's that puckering. My mouth feels furry. Like that. So if you're feeling that on your wine, usually a young red wine, letting it breathe in a decanter, not letting it breathe just in the bottle, that does nothing. And you expose the tannins, those natural compounds in wine, to air, they will chain together and become longer chains. When they are longer chains, stay with me, this is as much molecular biology as we're going to do, they glide across your mouth. So they don't get stuck in the crevices of your mouth. And that's what makes a wine taste tannic. When they chain together because oxygen is binding them together, and that's the same thing that happens but more slowly in the cellar, it tastes smoother. So young red wines, especially Cabernets, are often prime candidates for decanting and letting the wine breathe. The other wines we want to decant are vintage ports, which throw a crust or a sediment. We're decanting them, though, more to get rid of the sediment, which is bitter. It's the sludgy stuff that really does taste bitter. What else do we let breathe? Wines that aren't at the right room temperature. So you take a wine out of a cellar, like a red, and it's chilly. If you decant it, let it breathe, it's going to come up to room temperature quicker than if you just leave it in the bottle and just pour it into all the glasses. That said, you can pour it into all the glasses, and that is letting it breathe too, even more so than in a decanter, because it's air surface ratio of the wine to the air. The things we don't usually decant or let breathe are delicate wines, wines that are already aromatic, like Pinot Noir, wines that are really old and fragile because oxygen can make them fall apart. Often white wines don't need decanting. Often sparkling wines lose their bubbles if we do that. So hopefully that was the concise, long-winded answer that you were looking for. Patrick McLean is logging in from Lafayette, Louisiana. I love it. Patrick, is there something in your glass tonight? Joanna, you can also put Tor and Tagus Lucent micro lead light string cartridge in a Bertram wine bottle. You're putting Christmas lights in the empty wine bottle of that rosé. That's lovely. Lee says, we had an amazing cheese fondue last night and had a cherry kirsch with it. That's a really nifty pairing. I love it, Lee's. James Norton, Andrea Robinson. Yes, Master Sommelier from Napa. Really excellent. I respect her. She's done so much good work on the Food Network. And in the wine marketing world, she's written countless numbers of books. Really solid. Okay, time for another sip. Time for me to tempt you with more cheese pictures. Here we go. I don't think those cheese pictures had sound, so I won't stay on them too long. Dead space on a radio. Lee says, how about Akrim, the master fromager from the Cheese Boutique in Toronto? Yes, he's the third generation owner and so personable. You're right, Lise. I should have him. And again, I've been in touch with him for my cheese and wine pairing course because I'd actually like to get him as a guest expert inside the course. I know that's not for everyone here on the Facebook Sunday Sipper Club, but there are some things that I actually want to put into the course that are special, extra bonuses that I'd almost like to save for that opportunity and experience. So anyway, that's something to consider in the future. Right now, I'm looking at some of these renowned expert cheese folks to come inside our course area and share their wisdom with us. But he's just got a new book out, so I highly recommend that. Great guy, really knows what he's talking about. Jason Davies says, Gerald Bassett and Ronan Saber, 67 Pall Mall in London. So, I'm not sure, are they winemakers or are they wine merchants, Jason? And then you say Anthony Barton. Give me some more details, okay, just so I connect the dots here. Lori says he would be great to bring in on your wine course if you're having any guests, but I also like the idea of the show with him. Yes, Akram, who is the fromager, the big cheese. Yeah, definitely we're going to have him inside the course. And it's not too late to register for that course. So I will be posting a link for the course after this video is over. It's called Pairing Wine with Cheese and Attitude. And we are taking it all the way from building holiday boards that will make your guests' eyes light up like little Christmas trees to the new year where we're talking about interesting cheeses with fascinating backstories. You wouldn't believe the cheeses that are out there. And the stories you can tell as conversational pieces when you're entertaining guests. So I just think there's just so much potential for fun, for conversation, for making a good wine great. So yes. Lee's. Yep, I spent some time with him recently and he made me breakfast. I want to know more about that, Lee's. What did he serve you for breakfast, my dear? Patrick McLean says, Krupp Brothers Veraison Red Blend 2009 vintage is in my glass and is paired with some aged Gouda and Cypress Grove Midnight Moon cheese. Whoa! The weather is 75 degrees Fahrenheit and clear in Louisiana. I want your life, Patrick. That sounds beautiful. some interesting cheeses there that you mentioned. Describe them and where they come from. I would love to know. Really, really interesting. Lori says, thanks for the explanation. Dave Head has joined us. Welcome, Dave. Lee says, I have it and I love his book. Sommeliers, Jason. Oh, you're suggesting sommeliers, Jason. Jim Clark says, Jennifer Huther, Master Som Jackson. Yes, she would be great, wouldn't she, Jim? Jason says, arguably one of the greatest wine professionals of his generation is Gerard Bassett, is the sommelier's sommelier. Whew. He is a former world champion, the only person to ever simultaneously hold the whole Master of Wine, Master Sommelier, and MBA wine honors. Wow. And Jason, just so you know, we had Arvid Rosengren on the show, who won the world's best sommelier competition. That was a few episodes ago. So, Lori, if you have the links for posting for the new wine and cheese course where people can sign up, I would so appreciate if you'd post that in the comments just so people know where they can sign up. The other link that would be very useful is past episodes of the Sunday Sipper Club, which is on my website. So it's under all the videos. So just in real time, if we can get those links up there, that would be awesome. All right. So Lee says, Akrim makes a good breakfast. I want to know what was in your breakfast, Lee's. Lori says, yes, Jim, I think Jennifer Huther would be great. And Sarah D'Amato, yes, another really terrific wine writer. Andrew Johnston is here. Welcome, Andrew. What's in your glass? Lee says, cave-aged, let me see, the comments are jumping. Cave-aged Gruyere and Swiss. Oh, this is what she had for breakfast. Cave-aged Gruyere and Swiss plus garlic and some cherry quiche for the best cheese fondue. Oh my gosh. So where were you having breakfast with Akrim? I want to know that. Were you in Toronto or was he in Northern Ontario where you are, Lise? Was he promoting his book or how did this happen? I have to know. Need another sip. Okay. Let's toggle down here with more comments. Sorry, my screen is a little stuck. Jason says, Rowan is the previous winner of the UK Sommelier of the Year competition and twice representative for UK in the European Sommelier competition. He's a regular judge for the Sommelier of the Year, tasting various competitions, an examiner for the court. Yes, he sounds great. Can he tell a good story? Is he lively and energetic and charismatic? We need that. So, sounds good. Both very interesting individuals. Okay, I think I've finally caught up with the comments here, unless this scrolls ahead on me. So, guys, I wanted to share some tips for turkeys. Turkey dinner can be a dry meat. I used to say, especially when you're at my house, but not anymore. My partner Miles does a mean turkey. He makes it juicy. Still, turkey is among the driest of meats, so you want a mouth-watering, juicy wine when you're having turkey. So I suggest Riesling. You know, a Chardonnay with good mouth-watering action is often nice because turkey can be sort of brined and buttery, and so can the Chardonnay, as long as it has the juiciness. I love Pinot Noir, if we turn to reds, because it has the acidity, a Gamay, even a Zinfandel, because there's no big tannins, back to Lori's question, because you don't want tannin and dry meat, dry on dry, ugh, no. But Zinfandel almost tastes like your cranberries on the side dish. So it's a lovely, lovely, juicy red to have with your roast turkey. I would love your suggestions on what you would love to pair with roast turkey this holiday season. How about some women's somms? How about it, Lise? Okay, guys, gals, suggest some women's sommeliers, please. Let me go back up because it's already jumped down. I was in Toronto. He made some Italian pastry and coffee fondue. Was there last night. Oh my goodness gracious, Lise, you lucky woman. Elaine Bruce, I've spent some time in the vineyard this past fall, and it was an incredible experience, learning everything I could, including how to tell when the grape is ripe. Oh, that would be so good. So where were you doing that, Elaine? Which vineyard were you at? Andrew Johnston is drinking homemade Shiraz Viognier blend. It's good to be back. It's good to have you back, Andrew. You made this wine that you're drinking? Pretty amazing. Cool. Would you suggest it with your turkey? Lee says, turkey gamay, especially if you have sweet cranberry sauce or Beaujolais Nouveau. Good suggestions, Lise. Elaine says, gamay turkey, yes. And so, gamay and Pinot Noir are very related because it's all, at least originally, from the Burgundy region. So the north part of Burgundy is all about Pinot Noir. The southern part of Burgundy, Beaujolais, is all about gamay. And of course, we make terrific additions in Canada, the US, and around the world of both Pinot Noir and Gamay. They're both so juicy, succulent, not too heavy, no big tannins, perfect for turkey. Thank you, Lori. Lori has just posted the link where you can sign up for my wine and cheese pairing course. Do it now. Don't deny yourself this gift. I know you're busy, but you can always start the course when you want to start. The price now, though, is the best one you're going to get. All right, I'll try not to be too salesy, but I just know, I just know you'll have a great experience. The people who've gone through my course, I've never had a refund. Everyone has said I didn't realize how much value there'd be until I took your course, so I'm pretty darn confident that you'll love it. Okay, Jason Davies says, Anthony Barton, as I'd like to tell him that I should have asked him if I could have had a selfie of me and him. I ran into him outside of his estate. Oh, like Barton. Is that like Leoville Barton? Anthony Barton? In Bordeaux? You ran the Marathon de Medoc. Oh my gosh. Marathon de Medoc is this huge marathon, but everybody dresses up as all kinds of different things. So I tried. I was in it, the marathon, Jason. I'm not a marathoner, so I wimped out. But I thought it was hilarious. So I'm dressed up, and there's this real life woman who's probably 70 or 75, and her costume is she's carrying an IV or catheter or something, and she passed me. And I thought, it's time to go home. I just couldn't do it. I had foot problems, but anyway, I tried. But there were like grown men, like 12 men as a wedding cake. There's all kinds of weirdness. What were you dressed as, Jason? I would love to know. Elaine says, Sagewood. Small, but Doug? Okay. The owner has planted 17 varietals grapes on 7 acres. Oh, Sagewood. Where's Sagewood? It sounds like California. Nor me, says Jason. Does that mean you didn't finish it? Oh, you were Spider-Man. Okay. I was Wonder Wine Woman. Didn't really work out, though. I limped home. Phyllis Cook. Hello, Phyllis. She's drinking homemade... Oh, you're drinking homemade Shiraz as well. I'm impressed with all you folks making your own wine. Went to a party last night and took a few cheeses from my cheese shop, the Cheesy Corner. We need to make sure we have your cheese shop as our recommended list of go-to places, Phyllis, for this wine and cheese pairing course. They were St. Mary's, Ontario, Stonetown, Wildwood, Appalenzar, Irish Whiskey Cheddar. I know that one. Oh, now the comments. I have to scroll back up. Irish Cashel Blue and Shropshire Blue. I have that one too for our first night of the course. Those are amazing. And those give visual pop and color, don't they, Phyllis, to a cheese board. So, yeah, Phyllis is one of our Get Wine Smart members. And she hosts wine and cheese tastings. She's posted the link to where her cheese shop is. Feel free to fill in more details here, Phyllis. But yeah, I'm going to have some of those cheeses in the wine and cheese pairing course that I'm launching this week. As I said, registration closes in a couple days. Get in there. Joanna says, did she have a wine? Did she have wine in the IV bag? Probably. I love that. I hope she did. Hope it wasn't just a saline solution. Oh my gosh. But I was so embarrassed. this older woman, elderly woman, is passing me. And at that time, I was like in my 20s. I was like, this is embarrassing. Elaine says, I hear Air Canada will be flying into Bordeaux next year. That's interesting. Very interesting. For all you who want to go there. Elaine Bruce, near Kamloops. So, okay, let me backtrack because sometimes I lose the strain of the conversation. Where is near Kamloops? Sorry, I've lost the threads here because there's multiple threads. And Phyllis says yes to I don't know what. Anyway, such good comments. I love this. So tell me, folks, what are your favorite wine and cheese pairings? Someone on a previous Facebook chat told me about Cendrillon. Cendrillon. It's a Quebec Grenache goat's cheese. I'm not a big goat's cheese fan, but I had this last night, and it is the bomb. It is. I'm definitely including it in my course because it just has this amazing flavor that's not too goaty, if you will, and it just popped with the wine we were drinking. It made the wine so much better. And I love the wine we were already having. It was a red wine. Can you imagine a goat's cheese and a red wine? It actually worked. It made the wine taste better. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous wine. Cheese. But there's lots of other cheeses. I want to know what are some creative pairings. The other one I picked up tonight or today while I was out shopping was Truffo. Truffo. And it is a triple cream cheese with black truffle paste through the center, threaded through the center. So that's the fungi, the mushroom, not the chocolate. And it is addiction central. Seriously, I need an intervention to get through or to get past this cheese. I won't get past this cheese. I'm including it in the course too. It just, oh my gosh, it's heavenly. And because it has that truffle accent, I tend to think of wild, feral character wines like your Pinot Noir, except it has this brie, this mouth-coating triple brie. So I think you really need if you're going to go Pinot, you need one with a lot of acidity to cut through that cheese, that creamy mouth-coating cheese. You can't have a warm climate Pinot. You need a cool climate one, like from Niagara, or if you're in California, Carneros, or New Zealand, or of course Burgundy, where you get those natural truffle flavors. Lori says, hard Italian truffle cheese and Pinot Noir, my all-time fave. Indeed. I've got some hard truffle cheese too for the course. It's just, I can't wait to dive into all this. I went out, as I said, today I was shopping and I got all these cheeses and it's like, okay, don't eat them all before the course because you're going to have to shop again. Anyway, Lori says, can we ask questions about the course or would you prefer those asked elsewhere? I'd prefer you ask them here, Lori. That's what tonight's for. It's an open mic night. So I kind of wanted to just open the floor to whatever you folks want to talk about. And that can be guests for next year. It can be the cheese course. It can be the new podcast that launches Wednesday. It can be the new audiobook that just came out. Or it can be, tell me how I can pick wines for my turkey, give wines as a gift, holiday-related wine questions. It's all open for you. So bring it on. I would love to answer your questions. The link that Lori Kilmartin posted earlier in this thread of comments has a lot of detail and answers. But you know what? I like to hear it from the horse's mouth or the goat's mouth or the cow's mouth. So bring it on. Ask me anything you want. Andrew Johnson. All this talk about food, I'm starving. Excellent. I've done my job. I hope you're thirsty too, Andrew, not just starving. All right. Time for another wine sip. Show you some more mouth-watering cheese pictures while I take a sip. Be right back. All right. I'm back. Jim Clark says Cambanzola. Whoops, comments are going quickly. Let me scroll back up. Jim Clark says Cambanzola cheese, a combination in style of French soft ripened triple cream cheese and Italian gorgonzola. That's what I like. So I have been tested. I'm a super taster, so I always just held my nose when it came to blue cheese. It was too strong, too pungent, too sharp, everything. But if you look at these cheeses these days that are triple cream and combine the blue, so what you're suggesting here, Cambanzola, Jim, but also like Blue Elizabeth or Benedictine Blue from Quebec, triple cream with blue, or you've got the Shropshire Blue that Phyllis had from England. And so it's softening the pungency of the blue. The blue gives it a little kick, but it's not so pungent. It's overwhelming for those who are new to blue, like a Stilton might be. So I love that for getting started in blue, and that's something we're going to explore in the course. Lori says, for the course, will we need to purchase a huge number of wine and cheeses? No. Lori, I'm going to simplify this for you. So I'm providing a list of retailers in your area, and what I'm doing for the first night, for instance, is picking 2 to 3 wines, max. You don't have to have them all, and you don't have to have the specific ones that I have. The ones I'm going to pick are all very moderately priced. And same with the cheeses. What I'm going to do is say, here are the basic types. Go to your favorite cheese shop. That could be a grocery store that has a good selection like Whole Foods or Metro or Farm Boy or whatever happens to be in your city. And get these types of cheeses. I'm going to pick some specific types within those categories. If you can get them, great. If you can't, don't sweat it. I'm going to tell you the backstory of how this type of cheese is made, and then I'm going to tell you a particular story about the specific cheeses I have, so that you get all of the full information, but you're not losing out if you can't get the specific wines and cheeses. All will be reasonably priced. I know it's the holidays, we're in shopping mode. We need to not go crazy on this. And especially if you want to replicate what we do in the course for your holiday entertaining. You don't want to blow the budget. So I'm not going to be recommending very pricey wines and cheeses or hard to get wines and cheeses. That said, I will give you the interesting backstory of some particular wines and cheeses so that you have that. Let's see. Andrea Shapiro is here. Welcome, Andrea. Jay says, I will have pheasant stuffed with cheese for Christmas. Oh my gosh, that just sounds decadent. What type of cheese are you stuffing that pheasant with, Jay? Holy smokes. Joanna, will you give a wine and cheese list before the class? Yes. Before the class in which you discuss them, yes. So, Joanna, we start this week. I'm going to be sending out a list of wine and cheeses tomorrow. So if you are interested in this course, get yourself registered. And it's not like you want to buy the cheeses way in advance. You want them fresh. So it's not like, oh, it's last minute. You actually don't want to shop for these cheeses more than a couple days before each class. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay out the cheeses and wines before each class so that you have them. I may try to work ahead for future sessions, but I don't want you trying to get everything at once. You don't need to. It's not necessary, and it's not best for the condition of the cheese. But yes, I will guide you step by step. Here are the cheeses. Here are great substitutes. Here's what might be in your area. I will help you get reasonably priced cheeses that are in your area, because I know that's important. Hello, Andrea. Dave Head says, I've heard amazing women speak this year. The cheese making nun. Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that link, Dave, that you've sent. Maybe fill me in on more details of who Noella is. Cheese making nun. Is she really a nun? That would be fascinating. Francis says, Abigo is a great beeswax wrap for cheese storing. Not that there will be leftovers. It allows the cheese to breathe. And that's another thing, Francis, very important that we're going to go over in the course, is how to store cheese. What kind of paper you should use. Not baggies and saran wrap, by the way. That does not let the cheese breathe. But we're going to talk about like the cutting utensils. What accessories would you like to have? How do you cut cheese? If cheese is shaped in a circle, how should you cut it? If it's in a square, if it's in a wedge, how do you cut it? What temperature do you serve it? When do you take it out of the fridge so that you get the maximum flavor for your guests? So it's not too cold, too warm, running off the plate. Lots of issues. I love it. Jane Cox, good evening. Hello, Jane. How are you? You're a member of our tribe, our Get Wine Smart tribe. Good to see you here. Okay, yeah. And so I'm also going to share my favorite cheese boards. So from Slate to, I have some pretty amazing wooden cheese boards that have champagne capsules, like the shiny capsule embedded in the wood. So I'm going to share with you all my sources where I get all my stuff because, you know, 'tis the season to buy stuff. And you can go out there and get these kinds of accessories for yourself or as a gift for others. And that's the same thing with the course. Give it to yourself or give it as a gift to others. What people have done in the past with Get Wine Smart is take it as a couple. So you have cut in half the course price because you and your loved one can take it together, or you and a best friend can take it together. Or they'll just replay the videos with friends and have a guided tasting in their home without having to do all the work and the heavy lifting. I can do that. All right, so I cannot believe that it is already 10 to the hour. I guess I'm... Hello, Jeffrey Anderson. Hi. So if you're joining us at this point, that is absolutely A-okay. You might want to watch the replay for the content. We are going to wrap up here soon. So guys, keep posting your questions about the cheese course, pairing wine with turkey, etc. I need to announce last week's winner of, it was a signed copy of Christine Sismondo's book. So Christine was great last week. She supplements the coverage in the Globe and Mail for drinks. She was a professor of literature at York University, and she's written 2 books, working on her 3rd, about cocktails and drinks. And I am looking for my notes as to who won that. It was Linda from Pennsylvania. Linda, I need to get in touch with you. I know Linda Michaels, who is part of the Get Wine Smart. That's not how I pick them, by the way. It's based on who shares. Let me take a moment to show you how to do that. Because if you share the video tonight, tell your friends and family why they might like this video, you could win a signed copy of my book next week. So if you're watching the video replay, you can still qualify. So Linda Michaels, I'm going to connect you with Christine Sismondo for that book. And we will get you in there. So, oh my gosh, Jeffrey says one of his favorite is a Poisse with red burgundy. A Poisse is so strong. Jeffrey, I'm surprised and delighted that you've suggested this. A Poisse has a strong pneumonia taste to me, but I'm a super taster, so that means not better taster, but super, super sensitive. So I smell that and I think, oh my gosh, cleaning fluid. I'm curious that you would pair it with red burgundy. Why do you think it works for you, Jeffrey? As I am sure it does. And has anybody else tasted a Poisse? Andrea, nice. Congrats to Linda. All right. So guys, as I said, Lori has posted the link where you can sign up for pairing wine and cheese with style and attitude. A step-by-step guide to mouth-watering matches, making mouth-watering matches. I hope you'll join me. It's a lot of fun. We don't do it on Facebook, although you get access to my private Facebook group. I do weekly tastings in there every week that are a bonus add-on to the course. But the course itself has lots of checklists, cheat sheets, pairing templates and tools for pairing wine and cheese. We get you all set up for the holidays. And then in the new year, we're going to go in depth to other wine and cheese pairing aspects, create a cheese board to seduce anyone for Valentine's Day, and all kinds of other things. And I'm going to keep improving the course. If you sign up now, as I said, you get the best price, but also you get access to all future editions of the course, lifetime access. So I'm going to get in some cheese experts like Akrim and others, the cheese making nun, whoever she is. I will find you. And we'll have, I think, a pretty fun conversation inside the private group for the course about wine and cheese pairing. All right. So Lee says, I love Greyal as it's a soft goat covered with ash. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful cheese. Lise, what do you like to drink with it? Jay says, Boisson. Oh, yeah, a chev, herb chev, garlic and herbs, sausage meat, cognac and shallots. Oh my gosh. Wow, Jay, you need to let us know where to meet you, when and where. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I sincerely appreciate it. I love this. Again, the time has flown by, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to have Maureen Downey, who is an expert on spotting wine fakes. She runs a consultancy in San Francisco. So she's going to build on the chat we had with Pete Hellman in Vino Duplicatas. And she's got some really great stories to share, as well as tips for you. Like if you ever are buying wine at auction or just in the liquor store, what do you look for besides, misspellings and obvious things on whether a wine is fake or not? All right. Thank you, folks. You are welcome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I hope you'll join me in the course. We are going to have so much fun. More fun than we should be allowed to have. We're going to have it. All right. Take care, and I will see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye for now.